Now on Denver 7 News at 6, streets turned into rivers. And a burst of hail forcing people to get out the snow shovels to dig out their cars.
Wrong day to wear brake stocks.
Another wild night of weather in Colorado. The cleanup this morning, and Lisa has a look at what's ahead for the forecast.
Some good news if you're still looking for a home here in the metro, how interest rates and prices are starting to work in your favor.
A prisoner swap could be in the works between the U.S. and Russia. The Biden administration looking to bring home 2 Americans, including WNBA star Brittany Griner, the notorious criminal the U.S. would give Russia in return.
And let's ride Broncos country. Russell Wilson takes the reins at training camp.
There's no magic pill, there's no hidden tricks, there's no nothing. It's just, are you going to do the work? Are you going to do everything it takes? Are you going to sacrifice every day?
And the team is one step closer to its new ownership. We're breaking down the final part of the process. Russell Wilson gave the fans everything they wanted to see in day one, but it was hard to think about football or anything for that matter last night. I'm sure the weather kept you up along with all of us, so if you're waking up a little groggy this morning, I mean, it was lightning, it was thunder, it was
60-mile-an-hour winds at the house.
A little something for everyone,
Yeah, we had hail at my house. I mean, if you did miss it, we have a lot of video of it for you to see. I can't believe Lisa slept through this. Jason, this was your street, right?
I was up for an hour and it was flowing. There was a little construction site just up the road. Started bringing down rocks and other debris, just flowing right down the street.
Yeah, and then Lookout Mountain camera caught the lightning show overnight. Our producers saw this coming in last night. I still watched this as I drove into work, so this was an hours-long show.
I thought the lights had gone on in my house. The
it was
lightning was so bright.
But the winner of the wildest weather has to be Estes Park this morning, right, where they are digging out from the hail that looks like snow. So please continue to share these videos to the Discover Colorado Through Your Photos Facebook page, because that's where we found this one. This is at Elkhorn Avenue in Estes Park. Streets blocked by the hail.
We're about to do a live hit. If y'all will stick around.
And Jessica's about to do a live hit. She's explaining to someone out there. So Jessica Crawford, still a ton of hail on the ground this morning.
Hi, yes, so we are right here on Elkhorn Avenue. We have some friends back here. I don't know if they're too interested in being on the camera, but we got to at least take a look at this puppy. They tell us that he thinks that it's snow. He's a snow dog. He loves the snow. Oh, did you see how he looked at the camera? Okay, so this is what Elkhorn Avenue looks like right now. And a few hours ago, really a lot of this hail was just in the middle of the street. We're going to give you a look at how people were trying to clear that out right now.
It's July, almost August.
It's July. And
So there you saw some of the difficulty that people were having as far as getting through the streets just a few hours ago. Now we're seeing people being able to pass through just fine. Really, it's kind of more of the spectacle of it right now at this point. People coming out to take pictures and bring their dogs out here and really just kind of take a look at these large piles of ice that we're really not used to seeing in July. So another thing here, just here's a close-up, here's a look. As you can see, this dog right here thinking it's snow, looks like snow from afar. No, it's hail. And all of that noise that we heard overnight, Lisa, was really what was contributing to this.
Yeah, and I want to explain what happened there. It's a Denver 7 weather action day because we could see more hail and more flooding rains today, but really the perfect ingredients in store. We had an unstable atmosphere, a risk of severe weather. We had a little more lift due to the jet stream location, plus a lot of moisture. That was the key factor there. Monsoon moisture coming in from the south and southwest gets lifted above that freezing level, and we get a lot of hail falling in a short amount of time. So today, here are the hot spots. Right now, as you're stepping out the door, you're going to find some heavy showers up along the northern Front Range. So really stretching from Larimer County into Weld County now. You're going to find some really heavy rain. Jason will talk more about how that's impacting the drive. We also have, he was saying on some of the CDOT cameras, some rain falling there and through Lakewood. You're going to find there along 6th Avenue. That cell doesn't look super impressive, but a little wet this morning. Another risk of severe weather possible again today. We'll talk more about that. I'll show you a futurecast coming up, but look at how much cooler it is too. 60s this morning. Yesterday we were near 90. Today we're not even going to get close to 80, likely some mid to upper 70s.
Let me show you that camera over there in Lakewood right now, where you can see some of the very wet conditions that we're dealing with at 6th and Wadsworth. So this is 6th and Wadsworth right here, and you can see how much water is getting kicked up on and off the roadways. Yeah, I had somebody on Twitter say, hey, it's raining like crazy here in parts of Lakewood. This is over there near Fort Collins along I-25 where it's wet. It's actually starting to dry out a little bit here on Sable at E470 or at I-76, but it's going to get really wet near Fort Morgan pretty soon. This is from a crash that we have out to the east side. Let me show you two different issues. One on I-225. Take a look from the map here if you would. So there's that crash and the delay. I'll get to that drive time in just a second. But over here at E470 and I-70, you had somebody spin out because of the hydroplaning situation. You get to those higher speeds, you lose traction, and then you're going to spin out. This is the delay on northbound 225 after that crash right before I-70. It's a rollover crash, unfortunately, again, into that wet weather.
A lot more on the weather coming up, but we do have some breaking news this morning. JetBlue Airways has reached a deal to buy Spirit Airlines. This was just hours after Denver-based Frontier Airlines agreed to abandon its merger proposal for Spirit. The JetBlue acquisition will create the 5th largest airline in the country, and it will remove a discount airline from the U.S. market in the form of Spirit. JetBlue's all-cash bid of $3.8 billion was far higher than Frontier's cash and stock offer. Just 30 minutes from now, we'll get a GDP report that could show we are technically in a recession, the very thing regulators have been trying to prevent as they try to tame inflation. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates 0.75% yesterday. There is a bit of good news, though. If you're trying to buy a home, rates for all kinds of mortgages fell yesterday because of recession fears. Experts think a 30-year fixed rate will stay about where it's been, 5.8%. More good news for home buyers. The steep price increases that we saw in Denver all throughout the pandemic are finally cooling off. New data from Case-Shiller shows average monthly appreciation in the metro was 4.5% in March. That dropped to just over a point last month. That is a faster drop than the rest of the country. And buyers may have time to be more selective with their deals. There will be homes staying on the market longer. 20% of pending offers were canceled nationwide last month because of higher interest rates. Sellers may have to come down in the price or give other concessions to close.
New this morning, a major win for the Biden administration's economic agenda and a major reversal here. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin says he will now back an energy and health care bill spending $369 billion on climate initiatives and raising taxes for big corporations and the wealthy. And a vote in the House could come next week. WNBA star Brittany Griner could be coming home soon from Russia. The U.S. is proposing a prisoner swap with Russia for Griner and American Paul Whelan. Sources tell ABC News President Biden has approved trading an infamous Russian arms dealer to secure their release. Victor Bout is currently serving a 25-year sentence at a federal prison in Illinois. He is convicted of selling weapons to terrorists and inspired the character made famous by Nicolas Cage in Lord of War. Russia has not agreed to the prisoner swap yet, though. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he will press for that deal with Russia's foreign minister later this week in their first call since Russia invaded Ukraine.
Denver 7 is working to get school supplies to kids who need them ahead of school starting in just a couple of weeks for most kids. We partnered with A Precious Child to help victims of the Marshall Fire. In Broomfield yesterday, the group distributed backpacks to kids who lost everything.
I got my markers and my crayon and my pencils.
What's more exciting than school supplies, right? Along with the supplies, the bags also included new shoes and clothes.
Well, the Broncos are back at UC Health Training Center for day 2 of training camp. Practice will start at 10 a.m. It is once again open to the public. The gates will open at 9. Russell Wilson, trying to develop chemistry and leadership with the team, showed up for the fans, hyping up the crowd. This was my video from my cell phone. I was right there as he was high-fiving the front row and embracing that role as the new face of the team.
It felt like a game, to be honest with you. We were getting after it. Ones versus ones, just to go back and forth, the speed of it all. Like I said, anytime you want to be successful, you got to put the work in. There's no magic pill, there's no hidden tricks, there's no nothing. It's just, are you going to do the work? Are you going to do everything it takes? Are you going to sacrifice every day?
I should mention he snubbed me on a high five, but so he and I aren't off on the right foot. But no, I'm kidding. No, he was great with the fans and great on the field. This was from his wife Sierra, who posted this video on TikTok with her and the kids all in their number 3 jerseys and out there on the practice field. So great to see. He has embraced that role as the face of the team. Denver 7, meanwhile, is your home for Broncos training camp. We will have special coverage of Saturday's session in what the team is calling Back Together Saturday.
Nice.
That starts at 7 a.m.
Quick update on the team's ownership. The NFL's Finance Committee recommended other owners approve the $4.6 billion sale to the Walton Penner Group. Team owners will vote on the sale August 9th in Minneapolis. 24 of 32 owners have to approve the sale for it to become final. Lisa.
You know, guys, I met 2 of the tiniest little Cowboys fans out there yesterday.
Oh.
I'm afraid they were trying to get some details from on the field to take back home. Broncos training camp today, you're going to find here at about 10 o'clock. Some upper 60s. We're going to be under quite a bit of cloud cover. It's going to be a lot cooler out there today if you're heading out again, or if this is your first training camp of the season. There will be a chance of storms as we get a little closer to the end of practice there by noon. Mid 70s by 12. It's going to stay pretty cool and soggy today. We'll take a look at that Futurecast hour by hour coming up.
From this camera at 8th Avenue at I-25, you can see some of the clouds that are dropping the rain there across Lakewood, northwest Denver, and it is making for some wet roadways for us. 6th Avenue, 44th, I-70 out there to the west side of town. There's some pretty heavy rains. You can see I-25 here between Colfax and 6th Avenue, very wet, so just be prepared for some slower speeds because of the wet conditions here this morning.
Well, the Broncos are heading across the pond this fall, and so can you. The raffle for the London game and buying a ticket will be a good thing to do as well. A Colorado company behind this self-driving lawnmower is now expanding. How many jobs that could bring to our state?
And get ready to up your emoji game. Once again, the new set of caricatures coming to your phone this fall.